WLWT News 5, leading the way with breaking news.
Welcome back. A violent night for Cincinnati. Police are now saying they know of 9 people shot. That just into our newsroom in Over the Rhine. Thanks for being here again. I'm Colin Mayfield.
And I'm Kelly Rippon. Police are working multiple scenes right now. And at one point, we do know police had to use flashbangs to disperse the crowd of people down there on Main Street. 1:30 in the morning, an incredibly busy time of the night down in OTR. Bars are starting to close. People are starting to head home. Workers are getting off. So we know a lot of people are out and about. We are told one officer did fire a weapon at one point. Still waiting for a lot more information to be released about that from Cincinnati police. Now, we do have a team of reporters who have been down there since this initially broke this morning, getting more information for you. We want to start with WLWT News 5's Richard Childs. Richard, finally hearing from police, getting a bit more confirmed information. What do we know?
Well, Kelly, you talk about the chaos of this scene. We do know that officers, again, here responding about 1:30 this morning. We do know as well the CDR team here as well. In the midst of that chaos, Dan Hils, FOP president, former sergeant, Cincinnati Police, the response to this scene, because CDRT there, able to disperse this crowd. This may have been an incident that was able to save lives.
Oh, no doubt. I think having the team here, having the extra officers here is the only thing that saved us from even a greater disaster. Obviously, it's a great disaster to have so many people shot and hurt, but because the police were there that needed to be there right on the scene, and not only did they handle this, I guess we might end up calling this an active shooter, not only handled this active shooter, but then handled the chaos in the crowd afterwards. So yeah, our folks did an outstanding job, and thank God they had the people here and the units here to deal with it, because if they didn't, we'd really be in a deeper hole.
You know, from that initial response and that call out, we hear about the chaos of this scene. I mean, this is Saturday night in the heart of the entertainment district. Multiple individuals perhaps firing into a crowd. One Cincinnati police officer being able to fire their weapon and just be able to not necessarily hit that individual, but neutralize that ongoing threat. Quick response, quick action, and have the forethought, one shot fired.
Well, I don't know exactly all the things that you're saying happened and how they happened, but I do believe that it was an absolutely outstanding job by the officer you're referring to. I think that he saved lives, and again, without them being in place and being there, really scares me to think what would have happened. So we definitely have some crowd management issues down here. But we had the right folks down here to deal with it.
You know, this is a very, very active entertainment district. We've seen other problems that have happened here. Just 3 to 4 weeks ago, an officer struck in the head with a metal pipe, and really still recovering from that injury, an injury that's going to be ongoing for that officer. What does that say about this tone? What have business owners told you about the need?
Well, I recently had a conversation with a business owner about these crowds at night and the troubles at night. And a lot of it comes back to stuff that we've talked about before, the problems deeper into the criminal justice system. When you're not keeping people locked up for even some of the most violent things, and the little things just build up, and then you have total disrespect for the rule of law, and you have crowds and violent things like this that happen. It's something that needs to be addressed, and needs to be addressed quickly, not only by city but by county officials as well.
Now, we've seen the city response here. We've seen the command staff in place here on the scene. And again, got a chance to talk with Colonel John. He talked specifically about the response, and he's talked about officers, again, being able to quickly kind of limit the situation, being able to disperse that crowd, though. That was particularly critical in this scene, though, for officers responding, to be able to get that crowd under control.
Oh, huge. And again, we had the right people here. The people that are trained the right way, and they performed incredibly well from every account that I've heard. And just as you've also heard bits and pieces of the actual event involved around the shooting, this could have been much, much worse. You're talking about somebody firing shots into a crowd. I mean, it's just unthinkable at times of that type of violence. It reminds me a little bit of what happened in Dayton several years ago, and their quick response to it as well, and how it saved lives. I think we had the same type of thing happen here now in Cincinnati.
We mentioned it a couple of times, CDRT. Can you tell us what that means, who those folks are? What is CDRT?
Well, it's a civil defense response team. It's a civil disturbance response team, and they're here to, and they're trained to respond to crowds and deal with crowds, deal with disorderly crowds, deal with riotous crowds, deal with things that happen after incidents like this, because you're talking about absolute mayhem with hundreds and hundreds of people. You need a good amount of officers that are properly trained and properly geared to deal with such a thing.
All right. Sergeant Dan Hils, retired FOP president, thank you very much for making a second for us, getting an idea of what that response is like. Again, this critical incident. According, of course, Sergeant Hils describing that response from the CDRT, this team in place, in fact, because we had seen large crowds downtown, but having this team deployed and available and ready to go at this point, again, very quick in their response.
Well, they were here. That's the thing. It's not only a response, they were actually here. They were here because of these crowds, ready to deal with these crowds. So if that wasn't the case, like I said, I think we'd be looking at a even greater disaster than what we had last night.
All right. Kelly, Colin, again, getting a perspective from Sergeant Hils about this incident, about the appropriate response, Cincinnati Police. We're live this morning. Richard Childs, WLWT News 5.
All right, Richard.